He's since been replaced by Trevor Hawley, the gentleman you can see on the right-hand side of your screen. To sum up, could we have the diagrammatic chart up? Now, you see how these 16 nominee companies are directly linked back to McLaren and his major activities in the rigging of horse racing and shoplifting gangs. Right, now we move to the area of vice and pornography. This area is controlled by Arthur Lee Roach, whose empire has now evolved into the classic organised crime scenario.
You can forget him.
He's managed to insulate himself from direct law enforcement and avoid prosecution action. His last conviction, however, was in 1956, when he was arrested for the sale of pornography. He served 6 months. During the 1960s, he was arrested on 13 separate charges. However, none of these charges could be proceeded with. In some cases because no evidence was offered, and others because the principal witnesses and complainants failed to appear. Could I have Roach's diagrammatic chart up? Now, you'll see Roach's major cash flow stems from massage parlours, escort agencies, and pornography. These outlets are controlled by dozens of nominee companies listed under the names of sisters and brothers-in-law and ex-mistresses and one or two people who've been with Roach since the early 1960s, as you'll see on the chart. Further nominee companies control clubs and hotels and nightclubs. Some of these links we have been able to establish back to Roach. In the past 5 years, he's moved into drugs, cocaine and heroin mainly. Now, that is a natural development because prostitutes act as a major marketing and distribution outlet for both of these drugs. So there is a nexus between the liquor, entertainment and sex industries in the drug trade. Now we turn to partners and possible partners, holdings and possible holdings through nominees.
He has to sell, Sir John. You get a cop a lot of stick from the Green.
Stuff 'em.
Kate Hardman, what's she up to?
Yeah, stuff her too. You know, the Standard's doing a Saturday morning piece on me, don't you?
Oh, what's that?
Well, the full bagging, the law and order campaign.
Oh, well, remind me to get in touch with the publisher. First thing, is this definite?
So one of my friendly journos tells me.
Let's see how interesting government advertising is, not to mention our goodwill.
Oh, thank you, Barry.
But we can't groom you for deputy leader if we're going to give the press their heads, can we? Oh, good evening.
Barry. Ralph?
Kate, you're looking very lovely this evening. Is that a new perfume you're wearing?
Johnny Walker odor toilet.
And what mischief are you up to?
Buy me a drink later, Barry, and I'll tell you everything.
Ah, I could think of nothing I would like more, but I'm an old man. It's nearly time for my bed. You just give my press man a ring next week. Shit stir.
How'd you like to wake up next to that?
Kate Hardman from the Daily Standard. The Attorney General's expecting me?
Claiming either the exemption from road maintenance charges or the rebate in his traffic licence. Obviously, he'll...
Thanks, Charlie. Come in, Kate.
I feel sure, in general...
Drink?
Wouldn't say no to a beer.
Good idea. Sit down, Kate.
Don't mind if I smoke?
No, it's your health. Busy week?
The paper's running an opinion poll on the second casino licence. Should be interesting.
Premier might use a different adjective.
Yeah. Is he including you on the casino subcommittee?
Well, there's been one or two whispers.
I've heard a whisper too. Could have something there.
Well, Ralph Carpenter's a definite starter. Why don't you drop it in his lap?
The closest I've managed to get to your police minister lately was on the front steps tonight.
Yes, it must be difficult getting background for some stories.
I manage.
Might be able to help you there, Kate.
In return for?
You continue to support my reforms. Sympathetic line?
Could we be particular?
Well, I address a question without notice to Mr. Bagg. In regard
Your
to
office
the
isn't bugged,
announcement
is it?
made regarding the building of the new...
It's humouring my paranoia.
Can you advise
You know
of
Arthur
any
Lee
further
Roach?
plans to know
I've
from
watched him testify at enough royal commissions.
I want to make life difficult for the
when
bastard.
project will proceed,
Can't say it straight out, he's protected.
I think we both know by hand.
Don't listen to
eh?
rumours, Kate.
see the cost
I'm a member of this government.
details
I want
of
to stay
any
in
associated
office.
works.
I don't want to know about Roach's political
They could
connections.
do you a lot of damage.
Not if they want this government to stay in power.
So I start praising the need to license whores.
You could take the view that the government would be moving the girls off the streets. That way we'd be controlling venereal disease, flow of drugs, increasing the state revenue.
I can just see the fact-finding delegations touring Scandinavia and Bangkok.
Well, you have to be prepared to make sacrifices in the public service, Kate. Gradually, you begin to realise what a good weapon this is against organised crime.
One of its tentacles, anyway.
You interview me. The weight of public opinion would force me to see you officially. You demand to see the file on Roach's nominee companies, his interconnecting club licenses, his entire empire. Most of it's in there. I could arrange a few Dorothy Dix questions down on the floor of the House. Help you get around the defamation rules. You're going to have to excuse me for a minute, Kate. I must go down on the floor and respond to that question.
All this backroom manoeuvring? I thought you were the Attorney General.
Well, I can't be seen to be guilty of harassment, can I, Kate? After all, we're in the middle of a crackdown on organised crime.
That's a public relations exercise to push through the second casino licence.
Yes. It took me, off the record, Kate. It took me quite a while to smell a rat.
What amount of financial assistance and from what sources are the present four-year law...
Good night, sir. Good night, Jim. I'll see you at 7 sharp. There he is. Hello, mate. How's that boy, eh?
So Tommy went out and told the kid never to come back again.
Right, great. I decided on a crim today. Artie Roach.
Ooh, Glenn.
I talked to Kate Hardman.
End of discussion.
It's the right move.
Well, it's been nice knowing you.
Roach isn't going to touch a cabinet minister.
Then why haven't other governments gone after him?
Other governments were shonky.
Not all of them, surely. These people use violence, Glenn.
Other governments put organised crime into the too hard basket. Well, they get compromised.
You make compromises every second day.
Yeah, political compromise is different from being compromised personally.
You're splitting straws.
You make political compromises so you can stay in power, but you guard your personal integrity so you can use that power.
Well, darling, I think you've made your first big political blunder.
Lo. There's going to be a general election within 6 months. If we manage to scrape back into government, a cabinet reshuffle. Premier's had it up to here with me. I have to consolidate my position. I have to push my way into the casino subcommittee. Get my name into the papers. Make myself so prominent I can't be knocked off.
I can have him lent on at branch level, have them apply pressure.
Not for doing his job. Don't make the bastard a bigger martyr. He's already too popular.
We need Ferris. He smells good politically. Better than any of us.
This prostitution bill can't be seen as party platform.
We can't be seen to oppose it either.
No, it's a moral issue. Maybe we can get it through in a conscience vote.
What about the opposition?
They don't want the damn thing any more than we do.
Well, we're very lucky it's prostitution. We're not dealing with abortion or queers or any small minorities who are going to storm the steps.
Yeah, this wouldn't be ready for the current session.
Oh, we can be sure of that. And we're too busy to bring on anything else.
Send him in.
It's not bad for a young pup.
Come here.
What sort of bloody gutter sniper are you, Ferris? What in the name of Christ do you think you're playing at with this shit?
I had nothing to do with that article.
Oh, bullshit. I know what you're doing. You're jockeying for position. I want you to kill this.
Press would crucify me. I can't do that.
I'll tell you what you can and can't do.
This bill is only one of a number we've been preparing for Cabinet. I'm as angry about
I've
the
had
leak
a
as you
gut
are.
full of you and your law reforms. If it's not the prisons, it's the abos or the poofters. We've got enough on our plate with unemployment and the casinos.
This bill is tailored to answer the casino backlash.
How do you arrive at that?
Casinos push up the incidence of crime right across the board. Street crime, drugs,
That's a lot
prostitution.
of
There's a
bullshit,
nexus
Glenn.
between drugs and crime. You look at the statistics for
Don't
Atlantic
quote
City and
statistics
America.
at me. We confine ourselves to issues that translate directly into the popular vote. Things like this new decentralised industrial centre.
Well, the casinos haven't been translating themselves into a popular vote.
Don't be a smart ass.
We're after the revenue by controlling gambling. Why don't we go the whole hog and control vice? We'd increase
There
the
are no
state
votes
revenue.
in law reform.
Not in the party. There is in the electorate.
Don't tell me how to play the voters. You're not indispensable in Cabinet.
If you want my resignation.
You know bloody well I don't. You'll keep, Ferris. You'll bloody keep. Now get out of here. One other thing. You're on that casino subcommittee. I'm not going to have you standing back like a virgin in a brothel. If there's any shit flying, you'll wear it.
Premier.
Boy's gonna get his ass burned.
Roach began to expand his empire in 1968 when he took control of the Prince's Square territory formerly run by Basil Martin.
The figures on pornography, Rose.
Intelligence reports indicate that Martin's stepsister was Roach's mistress. He helped draw Martin to his execution.
I've never heard that confirmed.
Roach consolidated his empire with the death
Roach's
in
gross annual
1971
income on
of
prostitution is
Charles
put
Gaynor.
at 10 million.
His body was never
15
found, but
million on
intelligence
drugs.
reports
Further
indicate he
5
was
million
murdered,
from pornography.
and his body was fed through an industrial garbage
Clear in the
disposal
vicinity
unit.
of 20%.
Roach contracted the violence to a Garth Nipper Jackson, the criminal who specialised in strong-arm tactics and drugs from 1964 to the time of his death through suicide last year.
She's earning so much money.
But what does she spend her money on?
Her boyfriend takes most of it.
No, she must be on something.
She's not.
But she works her bum right.
She must be pulling teeth out a week, but she doesn't spend it on drugs.
The seafood. You go to the islands, you know, to put on the seafood and you walk just quite right.
High-powered episode of Chapel Lane. Coming up next is the late news and...
Alex, I've got the best girls in town. You have to pay for quality. I have to go. I've already negotiated this sort of thing. You call Sandro Beretti and talk to him. Tell him I said it was okay to discuss percentages. Look, I've got to go. Alex, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Bloody Alex Munro, where does he get off? Has Richie definitely got the second casino?
As good as, pending final negotiations.
The way
on
Alex
one
Munro is
thing.
talking, I think they'd already opened the front doors. What's all this crap with the AG?
He sprung it on us.
Barry, my old friend, if this friggin' bill becomes law, I'm stuffed. I lose 10 to 15 million a year on my boys and girls alone. Bang goes my market for coke and smack.
It's going to be a conscience vote.
What guarantee is that? I can't put the screws on that fire palm.
It smells good here.
Mud crab. Squid and black and
Pretty face.
Peking duck. Just leave it there. What's your name?
Vanessa.
Your real name?
That is my real name, Mr. Roach.
Well, Vanessa, I want you to meet a very good friend of mine. Nothing is too good for this man. His name is Barry, and he's a very famous man. Very powerful. So we're relying on your discretion.
Mr. Roach.
Stand up, Vanessa. Eh? Turn around. Pretty cheeky.
Piss off. I'll let you know if he wants you.
I think I am hungry.
We got to get the wood on Ferris. There's got to be one or two skeletons there.
Knowing Glenn, I should say so. In the meantime, I'll just slow him down. I have a couple of mates on the opposition who owe me a favor. I can get them to set up a few curly questions on notice that'll tie up his staff with awkward legal questions.
Can you,
make the bastard do a lot of homework?
Can you get his crime intelligence file pulled?
They won't like it, but yeah, I think I'll get a profile down.
Could we get him involved in some shunky investments?
We can look into that.
We've got to get him fixed up, Barry. We've got to get the dirt on him.
Well, I'm sure the church will condemn the bill, but the facts are, Father, I'm not promoting prostitution. I'm not promoting it. I'm trying to control it. I don't happen to subscribe to the theory out of sight, out of mind. No, look, of course I appreciate your position, Father. Listen, can I suggest this? Can I suggest that we meet? Yes, I'll have my private secretary contact you. Yes, good night, Father.
Oh, let's leave that thing off the hook.
I'm not here.
Right, now stand over here, Marion, love. Marion. Right, love, just stand there. Fine. That's it. Now just look like you're waiting for your next customer. Bring your head up a little bit, that's it, so I can see your face. That's it. How much did you spend on smack a week, love?
I don't know, about 800, 900, grand.
That's a lot of customers.
See, this bill is designed to get the girls off the street. The whole situation out of the public view, and you know how that's going to help.
Do me a favour, Dad, keep it up. The Catholics and the Masons in this place like a Dutch for
You do the right thing by me, mate. I'll look after you when I'm Premier.
What do you mean when you're Premier?
The John Ritchie Group hold a large land parcel at Stingray Bay. That's where they want to site their new industrial centre. Now, we want it at Point Edmund, and we also want those 3 marginal seats. Would you agree, Glenn?
Yes, I would.
Well, we must have complete cabinet solidarity about this.
I agree. How much is all this going to cost? I mean, our deficit's a bloody
stuff
nightmare.
all that, Don, until we get the marginal seats in the bag. Now, Glenn, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to look into the legal aspects of transferring Crown land across to the Ritchie Group. It might be possible to make a land swap, a contra deal. I mean, it's going to smell better politically anyway. Now, I want you to liaise with Glenn, Don. I want you to make a rough cost, something that's easy to quote, because the Premier must sell this to Sir John.
Oh, well, fair enough. Suppose we'll find the money somewhere.
I'd like to pick up the threads by the end of the week. Thank you. Glenn, have you got a minute?
Sure.
I'd like to have a drink. I'll see you in the bar. Oh, just some rough cost will do at the moment. Thanks very much. I'll be with you in a moment, Glenn. Could you shut the door, please? I heard a whisper from the opposition that they're digging the dirt on the casino subcommittee.
Bunch of bloody muckrakers.
Well, it is an issue. I think I would like to get all the files from the BCI and we'll see who we're dealing with.
Well, they're getting very twitchy over politicians' files these days.
Well, put it in writing. That'll shut them up. Oh, yes, by the way, I had a little chat with the publisher of the Standard the other day. We've got no worries there.
Ah, good. Thank you, Barry.
Well, we don't want to throw your hat into the ring as deputy leader and find some bastard who'll piss on it and make me look stupid. Oh, incidentally, Ralph, my niece is looking for the right job, you know. First-class girl, university degree.
Good looking?
So, don't you bloody dare. And mum's the word. I mean, I don't want to be accused of jobs for the girls. Glenn, you're a pain in the ass.
That is what this bill is all about. How old are you? 41.
You know, I've got a lot of time for you. Oh, don't act bloody coy.
It's mutual.
Very good. I didn't say a word to the bastard.
I am being forced out to pasture.
When?
The consummate politician, not why, when.
I knew about the blood thing.
I'll be here till the election.
Bad luck.
Yes, I think it is. I'm a young man, nobody knows. I've no intention of telling the Premier because he tipped me out before the election. I just want to hang on.
It's a bloody lie. Would somebody please get him out of here before he makes a display of himself again?
I'm sorry, Barry.
No, come over here, please. No. Go home and sober up.
I'm putting you on the inside track.
To start campaigning?
No. Start mending fences and kissing asses. You can drop all that prostitution crap. You're not fooling anybody. This bill, I mean, you've set a bait for a big fish. Artie Roach.
It's nothing personal.
Bullshit.
I happen to know Roach is protected. By people who could use their position against me. I believe in party loyalty. Just so long as no bastard stabs me in the back.
You got a bright future, Glenn. As long as you make the right decisions. Artie Roach is a very dangerous man. I wouldn't cross him.
The infrastructure at Stingray Bay is first class. There's an airport, roads, water, power.
That won't be a problem at Point Edmund, John.
What about the environmentalists?
We'll deal with them.
We'd run way behind on the building schedule. Them bloody greenies will throw themselves under the bulldozers, chain themselves to trees.
The police will deal with them. As for the local infrastructure, well, we'll improve all that with public works.
Yeah.
That's the act of a responsible government.
It would mean yet another bloody delay.
Oh, well, naturally you'd be looking for compensation. I would have thought a casino license would more than compensate.
Well, I wouldn't see a problem if one was dependent on the other.
Only a matter of the wheels of government turning, John.
We'll announce an inquiry into pornography. Have senior departmental officers do a general investigation into all aspects, including video.
Glenn, please. Watch your step.
As long as I'm careful, it's always my credibility against Roach's, yeah?
Kate Hardman.
Listen, I'll see her alone. Have Rox wear a bra, will you?
She thinks you like it.
Not that obvious. Come in, Kate. Sit down. You attend the autopsy.
Accidental death by heroin overdose. She was murdered.
The girl was a heroin addict.
That's bastard. We can't let him get away with it, Glenn. We can't sit by and let Roach
We
murder a
continue
15-year-old
to
child and
push
do nothing.
the prostitution bill. Other than that, I can only act where the police put a case together.
That'll be bloody never. Glenn, you know how they do it. Pure heroin. The girl thinks she's shooting up street cut smack, and it's pure. 10 to 20 times more potent.
I'm a lawyer, Kate.
You're a politician.
I'm a #1 law officer. I cannot compromise that position with wild supposition.
Roach doesn't worry you personally.
I didn't say that.
I have something on one of the casino applicants.
You know it's down to a short list of 2.
This concerns Sir John Ritchie and the heroin dealer Nipper Jackson. I have evidence to show they're linked.
In what way?
Strike breaking, smashing picket lines. 2 unionists were badly beaten some months ago. 1 crippled for life.
This is a strike against one of Sir John's companies.
GKO Plastics. The unions believe they were ripped off. One of their concessions was a profit-sharing arrangement. The union claims millions of dollars were moved overseas. So they demanded an independent audit of the company books, and that was denied. They went on strike. Chances have to be good Sir John Ritchie's merchant bank was involved.
Can you substantiate any of this, Kate?
We both know Nipper Jackson. The man beside him is Alex Munro, principal private secretary to Sir John.
Where'd you come by this?
I've got 1 or 2 friends in Canberra.
A photograph in itself proves nothing. At best, it's circumstantial.
This is not a court of law, Glenn. This is a casino application. And the government can't issue a license to someone linked to organised crime.
I'll follow it up.
I want to get some of this into the paper.
I'll get back to you, Kate. I want you to probe the Ritchie Group on transfers of monies overseas. I presume you'll have to go through the Federal Treasury. And while you're at it, you might want to see what feedback you can get from our overseas law enforcement contacts. Be very discreet on this one, Graham.
Look, I'll have to ring you back. Yes, within the hour. Bye, darling. Who gave you this?
Kate Hardman.
Are you two about to become engaged?
She's a good journo.
Gutter pressed and a dyke to boot. I wouldn't give her the time of day. Does the other side have this?
I couldn't say.
It's bloody outrageous, Glenn. Sir John heads a multi-million-dollar group.
I find it hard to believe myself, but if it's true and we award Sir John the casino license, we're going to be cutting our own throats.
Oh, I don't think it'll come to that. It's all bullshit. Don't do anything until you hear from me.
Well, yes, I must admit I have been back once or twice since opening night. Oh, thank you very much, Ray. Thank you. Yes, I find I've got a weakness for blackjack.
Oh, well set out. Excellent restaurant.
Everyone got a drink?
Working on it. Jan, Rita, please. I'd like you to meet the ministerial liaison officers for the casino subcommittee, Jan Barsing and Rita Hayes, Premier Cooper and Attorney General Ferris.
Rita, hi, Jan.
Girls. Good, we're underway. Gin and tonic for me, please.
Well, Scotch and ice, thanks.
The brunettes.
Well, you fellas have got your work cut out for you. One of these two will be our next casino. You will have seen them both before among the 20 or so other applicants.
Well, I like the one with the spirals. I thought that was a brilliant design.
Well, these two stood out head and shoulders from the word go, to my mind.
This one is what?
The Bidnet Corporation. A lot of overseas money and influence tied up here.
This must be the Ritchie Group.
Yes. I make no secret, except to the media, that I'd be very happy to see Sir John win this licence. It's an entirely local company, as you know, and one of our major donors and supporters. However, it's not my decision. It's a decision for this subcommittee. You fellas carry the can on this one.
I take it there'll be a complete investigation into both applicants?
Yes, by officers of the Treasury.
I've already set that in motion. Hey, where would you go with this bit here, boss? Would that be an auditorium?
Yeah, I'll bug it if I know, Don.
Very impressive. A whole roof of glass with water running over it.
Might be nice if you were a goldfish. I'm worried about that photograph, Ralph. This new industrial estate's very important. It could bring employment to one of the state's most depressed areas at a considerable personal cost to Sir John. I want everything you can get me on this. I want to know what I'm dealing with here.
You want the BCI file on Sir John?
Oh, good God, no. Use your discretion. We don't want this thing spilling all over the shop. Confine it to the heroin dealer and Sir John's principal private secretary.
Fine,
Look for any
I
substance in that. And I want to hear a rumour back. Your press secretary could let it slip on the non-members' bar that it seems the Bidnet Corporation could have connections with funny money.
The American Mafia or the Hong Kong triads?
Yeah, something like that.
I'll need a new temporary at the electoral office this coming Friday. Item 16. I've had a letter from one of my constituents complaining. It's a Mrs. P. Ingram. It's about the local school teacher. Would you forward that on to the Minister for Education with a covering letter from me and a copy to Mrs. Ingram? Listen, that's enough of that racket. Thanks, darling.
She has to practice.
Item 17.
You're not in Parliament House now. This is our home, too. We all have equal rights here.
I know that, darling.
You might be a little tin god down in Parliament House. And you probably believe it. You probably think you're immortal.
Come on, let's go for a walk.
I'm in the middle of getting lunch.
Come on, everybody. Get the dog. Go for a walk. It's okay.
No, it's not, Glenn. Don't you read the newspapers? Kate Hardman as good as said that young prostitute was murdered.
Kate Hardman's a journalist. Her business is selling papers.
Tommy, get off the road!
Look, they're not going to bump off a cabinet minister.
I'm frightened for my children, for myself.
No.
I can't help it. I'm convinced they killed that girl.
I'll have a chat with Barry Barnes. I'll tell him I'm concerned about my family.
Why would you do that?
He can pass it on to his best mate, Artie Roach.
Barry Barnes.
Yeah. I'll tell Barry how irrational I'd be. How I'd strike out blindly. I wouldn't care what the political consequences were.
The deputy leader of your party. My God. I can't believe it.
Nobody out there would. None of the party faithful. That's one of the reasons why men like Roach can screw this country blind. We're the bloody lawmakers. Sworn allegiance to God, king and country. If any government had the will, it could make it impossible for those bastards.
Drop the whole thing, Glenn. Run for deputy leader. You won't have the numbers to win, but you'll have enough to keep Attorney General.
Look, love. Barry Barnes is going to be round till the year dot. I know what his game is. He wants me to run dead on the prostitution bill. Oh, stuff the lot of them.
With this weather, I know what I do. I take the schooner out to the islands. Just float about for a week.
What about you, Glenn? What would you do?
Oh, snow. I ski from daylight till dusk.
I must admit I have a weakness for skiing too. I can afford it.
Is everyone here? Right. Ralph's had the BCI of that photograph. It's one of thousands taken by the federal police.
Jackson was under surveillance for several weeks. It was photographed with men, women and children. It was quite indiscriminate and covered anyone that came within Jackson's vicinity.
What does one photograph prove, Glenn?
Well, in itself, very little. Two men shared a table in a restaurant, but for how long, we don't know.
So who else was there? Was there a microphone fitted?
No.
Yeah, well, I put this down as a deliberate plan to embarrass us.
We've got two applicants, and suddenly they're both rumoured to be linked to organised crime.
What have we got on the Bennett group, Ralph?
Same as the Ritchie group. Nothing of any substance.
Precious little fact in any of this.
Yeah, and a hell of a lot of political mileage for the opposition.
Either way, we're looking down the barrel at a general election. This subcommittee should express its concern to me over the unfounded rumours surrounding both applicants and request the setting up of a special task force.
To be drawn from the senior ranks of the police force.
Top men.
That should shaft the bastards.
And what will the terms of reference to the task force be?
As wide as possible, Glenn. Power to travel interstate and overseas, work hand in hand with the federal police.
Make them put their cards on the table?
Glenn, I'd like you to talk on the committee's behalf. Make full use of the media. You're good at that.
Thank you, Russell.
I'd get myself a new haircut if I were you, Glenn.
Listen, Hal, you stop and consider. What am I doing in effect? I'm socializing vice. You like socializing things. Never mind my politics. Look, let's have a drink, Hal. Yeah, I gotta go. Premier's on the other line.
I thought you'd be at dinner.
Opposition been having a field day with me. One sticky question after the next. I don't believe the hours I work.
Stress kills.
Oh, yeah? And what do I do about it?
Go skiing.
My wife hates it, and I hate going alone.
You could always ask a friend.
Yes, I could. Have you eaten?
I'm just going for a cup of coffee.
Well, there should be some brewing in Rox's office.
I'll find him. You enjoy your dinner, Mr. Minister.
It's more than a casino license, Ralph. We're looking at that whole new industrial estate. Might be interesting if Ferris and Sir John got to know each other better.
We're going to have to look very carefully at the appointments to this task force.
Yeah, get in people with the right loyalty. Thank you, George.
Yeah.
But don't underestimate Ferris and his bloody integrity.
Well, I was thinking, Glenn could appoint a senior officer from his own department to head it.
How would that help us?
Well, I would have to look very closely at who was 2IC. I mean, that's a thankless task. All the media attention goes to the top job, while the coordination for all the relevant paperwork goes to the chief investigator.
And he'd have to decide what the committee considered.
Precisely.
I think I can safely leave that in your hands, Ralph. That's shaping up very nicely.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Seymour had some information for the latest Hansard numbers available to us in order to see how the bill was passed.
It's all right, the door's locked.
Thank God for that.
That house will be sitting till the early hours.
Not here, Glenn.
Well, you know my reputation. I've heard rumors. I want the truth. The task force will find that truth.
Yeah, what if the truth should hurt politically?
Well, I've never been afraid of the truth. I'm not afraid of it now, nor is my government.
Yes, but the government must be worried about the opinion polls. There's a public backlash to the new casinos.
This government was given a clear mandate at the last election to introduce legalised casinos. Now, the majority of people clearly realised...
But that was at the last elections.
Let me finish here, will you, Keith? The majority of people clearly realised the distinct advantages of having a government-controlled, legalised system of gambling. Illegal casinos are a drain on the public purse. Legalised casinos are already boosting the state coffers. They're acting as a deterrent against organised crime. I support the casinos. I expect the majority of people at the next election to agree with me.
Okay. All right, thanks, Glenn.
Anytime, Keith. Thank you, fellas.
All right. How's that, boys?
All right. Very well. Didn't labour the truth too much, did I?
I thought it was very effective.
We have met before, Sergeant, I think. It's Mick, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Been doing a great job over in drugs, by all accounts.
Mick's got an excellent record.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
It is encouraging, Philip, to see the force developing its potential with the rotation of its brighter blokes. Now, this appointment to the task force, Mick, could be a tremendous boost to your career.
I'm looking forward to it, sir.
We need a smart policeman. Someone who can exercise discretion over the flow of information. We'll be relying on your judgment, Mick. Now, there are people who don't like this government. They may make it a political exercise, do a little bit of muckraking. We don't want the issue clouded by material that's been planted simply to discredit the two applicants and embarrass this government. Now, it'll be your job to decide what the committee reads and what it doesn't read.
I understand, sir. I appreciate the opportunity.
I know you do, Mick. This could make your career. Promotion to superintendent. Assistant commissioner in 5 years.
I'll have to watch my step. Tread on his fingers as he comes up the ladder.
Hello, John.
Russell?
I don't think you know the attorney.
Oh, you've met in passing. How are you, Glenn?
Very well, thank you, Sir John.
Come on through.
So he gets out and he turns to the doorman and he says, "Don't wait!" Well, you should have seen the look on the doorman's face.
I like it, Russell.
Always impressed with the gardens here. Very peaceful.
Yes, I wish I had a bit more time to enjoy it. We must talk about the odd fundraising too, Russell.
Good. Good. Elections give me the shits.
Ah, necessary evil, old boy. I should think the usual 100,000 from the Ritchie Group.
Your usual each-way bet.
You a gardening man, Glenn?
My wife would like me to be.
Yeah. Can it wait, Alex?
Concerns the Premier, Sir John.
Barry Barnes has collapsed. Taken to hospital.
Call my private secretary, tell him to set the wheels in motion. Cards, flowers, telephone calls. He'll know the drill. That's all we need, a bloody by-election.
You'll also be needing a new deputy leader, Russell.
Bastard always had a lousy sense of timing.
I'm glad the casino subcommittee requested this task force, Glenn. Some of the press can be very irresponsible. I don't like to be publicly tainted.
No, Sir John.
And I won't be, thanks to you. And other members of the committee. Mind you, the government and the casino proprietors are still going to be saddled with the long-term problems of illegal gambling.
No, we stopped all that.
Yes, in the short term, Russell, while you reassure the electorate.
We'll close the bastards down as soon as they open their front doors.
Yes, I'd certainly want that as a casino proprietor. Glenn, I'm quite impressed with your ideas on Point Edmund. The transfer of Crown land to freehold and the Contradeer looks as if it, well, could be feasible.
That is good to hear.
Perhaps you could get together with my legal people, go over the finer details.
I'd be happy to.
Of course, you realize that an industrial development of that size could generate widespread activity at Point Edmund.
Well, be a real boost to the area.
An astute fellow would be well aware of the inevitable blowout in real estate values.
Well, if he wanted to remain his own man.
I think we're ready for the veal.
Excellent salmon.
Thank you.
That man is one of my government's major supporters.
I won't be compromised.
Who's trying to compromise
Oh,
you?
for Christ's
Sir
sake.
John was making a generalisation. You're a member of my team, Glenn. You start worrying less about your bloody self and more about the future of this
No,
government.
I happen to think it's my public credibility that's going to help put us back. I'm happy to bend the law to get that industrial estate at Point Edmund.
Then what sort of a politician are you? We want Point Edmund, Sir John wants the second casino.
Well, I'll be happy to act on the findings of the task force.
Good, fine.
It's bad luck about Barry.
Pretty bad luck if he dies before the election.
And what about the deputy leadership?
Yeah, he's been a sick man for months now. I've kept in touch with his doctor. Should have moved against him before this. He's another selfish bastard.
You're not worried that the lobbying for deputy leader is going to split the party?
You're jockeying for position again.
Position hasn't been declared vacant yet.
There's no way I'll support you.
I know that. I'm just hoping you wouldn't work against me. I don't expect to get the job.
You're just trying to hang on to AG.
I think I've got wide enough support in the party.
I could white-ant that.
And I could reconsider my position on the prostitution bill.
Why don't you put it on the back burner, Glenn? Along with the poofters and the abbots.
If I get rolled as Attorney General, you can forget most of the law reforms, Kate. All I'm doing is putting the vice bill on the back burner while I protect my ass. Fine. You let the story run itself out. You can put it back on the front page when I bring the bill back on again. I don't know, Kate. Could be 6 months, maybe a year. It'll never happen if I get rolled. Kate, don't be impertinent. I'll let you know when you can contact me.
As the title of this bill implies, the ultimate objective of introducing legislation of this nature is for the protection of our physical environment. Or perhaps put more aptly, our natural heritage. I think members will agree that there is
A visitor for you, Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes?
Oh.
What are they doing to you, Barry?
You better be careful, Roach. You'll get our names in the paper.
Come in the back door. You look like a florist.
Next thing I'll get hay fever.
I went over to the church this afternoon, Barry. I gave him a nice fat pay packet.
You shouldn't have done that.
Oh, the father had the entire school pray for you. Every kid in the school down on his knees praying for you. It was beautiful.
Oh, Jesus, Roach.
I should have given them more. I won't let this happen, Barry. What am I going to do without you?
You'll be all right. They'll put Ralph Carpenter in.
Yeah, he's playing at Law and Order.
That is bullshit.
What if he
That's
gets
PR.
serious?
No, he's ambitious.
Who's gonna stop him?
Pragmatic. He won't rock the boat.
Well, I've always felt privileged to count you as a close friend, Barry. You always stood by me.
I'm a country boy, Roachy. I'm not about to forget my mates.
We've had contact back from the Federal Treasury. They've been carrying out investigations into Sir John Ritchie's merchant bank for some time. They're very positive about our involvement. My feeling is we'll get all the cooperation we need.
Were you able to get any indication what we might be looking at?
Oh, there's no solid evidence. As you'll appreciate, the bank works through a complicated corporate structure, through a maze of nominee companies.
What about the shop talk? Come in, Jan. Help yourself to a drink.
Refill anyone?
No.
No.
Indications are that they're involved in the large-scale illegal movement of money in and out of the country. There's also some wild speculation about involvement with arms deals in South America.
Shit, Graham. Of course, that would be difficult to substantiate.
No, we could be opening a great big can of worms here, yes.
Thanks, Graham. Leave it with me, will you?
It's a long-term, expensive operation, very risky.
I'll get back to you. There's one bloody problem after the next in this office.
Don't you have a too hard basket?
How does Ralph feel about me running for deputy?
So that's what you really want me for?
Well, you're my eyes and ears in the police minister's office.
I'm sure I should be insulted.
Politics is ruthless, dog-eat-dog, Jan. Ralph's always been the one to knock off.
Well, he sees you as his biggest threat, but he's confident.
Well, he's right to be.
He thinks you've done yourself a lot of damage.
With the vice bill.
No, the casino business.
Sir John is a great supporter of this party. He's got a lot of friends. I think I might put this in the too hard basket for now. Supper?
I have a bottle of French champagne at home. Oh, nice.
Your speech to the graduate law students.
Just pop it on the desk, thanks, Dan.
The Premier has declared the deputy leadership vacant.
It's on for young and old.
Mr. Minister. Do you know where you are?
I'm up to no good.
You remind me of a law professor I knew in university. He never knew when to say die either.
Did you have an affair with him?
I had affairs with 3 professors. Law, economics, and arts.
Sounds very impressive.
Well, all my men have 2 things in common. Good looks and power. Time to slow down.
It's one luxury I can't afford.
You haven't done too badly for a young man. You are the Attorney General.
Oh, yeah. I'm the Attorney General. I got a wife I love, a couple of kids I adore. I want more.
More of what?
More of everything.
Yes, but what do you really want, Glenn?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
I don't enter a race unless I'm confident of doing well. Barry Barnes himself personally asked me to consider the mantle of deputy leader, and I'd be less than honest if I didn't say that I find a suggestion by a man of Barry Barnes's political stature to...
Hot cinnamon toast and coffee with a smile.
Be less than honest if I didn't say that I find a suggestion by a man of Barry Barnes's political stature to be very flattering.
Very humble, darling.
You let me down over that photograph, Glenn.
That's not true, Kate. Have to wait on the findings of the task force.
You could have arranged the Dorothy Dix. Look, it's the only way I can get it into the paper. And the only way around the defamation laws.
You've seen Hitler and Chamberlain together. Doesn't make Chamberlain a Nazi.
Well, I'm just going to have to leak this to the opposition.
I thought we had an arrangement.
So did I.
Listen, Sir John's private secretary had a very plausible story.
Oh, he satisfied the subcommittee, did he?
Well, Munro moved from table to table. It was a property convention. He didn't catch any names.
Well, you can't have seen this, Glenn. Copy of the Fed's running sheet from their dog squad. Munro and Jackson sat alone over a 2-hour lunch. That information would have been freely available to the task force. Why do you suppose it didn't reach a subcommittee? Can't put that one on the back burner, Glenn.
Sergeant William. It will be more expedient if the committee addresses itself directly to Sergeant Miles. You have no objections, Henry?
No, Minister.
You ever seen that running sheet before, Sergeant?
No, sir.
Well, did you request all the paperwork from Canada?
Sir?
We had a surveillance photograph. Why didn't you request the running sheet that went with it?
A formal request was made for all relevant paperwork.
Well, surely that would be the one item above everything else that you'd press for.
Did you specifically ask for that running sheet?
We requested all relevant material. We didn't know whether we were looking at an isolated incident or a reoccurring pattern.
You forwarded on the Alex Munro statement without any such qualification.
With respect, Minister, we contain ourselves to the facts as we find or are given them. And we have no right of access to the records of other police forces.
Now, this subcommittee has not been critical.
The hell it is. I'm far from satisfied this subcommittee's been properly served. I want to know why Alex Munro spent over 2 hours with the criminal Jackson, and I want to know how that relates back to the Ritchie group.
You were very quiet, John.
I don't like any of this. I'm late for drinks at Treasury.
You have a novel way of lobbying for deputy leader, Glenn.
I stood on the front steps of this house and I promised a full and frank inquiry. It's my public integrity at stake here.
Oh, yes.
If Ferris pursues his current line, it could end up in a judicial inquiry. That's the last thing we want. Yeah, the absolute last bloody thing. It could be used to introduce other aspects. Could end up running anywhere.
Should we consider withdrawing our application?
No. You're talking about a license to print money.
So how do we reason with the AG?
Well, the Premier can't handle him, that's obvious.
He can't be persuaded financially?
Nah, that's already been explored.
Or do we compromise him in some way?
You reckon it's time?
We could use the media to discredit him, have our people attack his political weak points.
You are talking about a senior minister in a friendly, flaming government that's facing a tough election. Why don't you get back to me with a list of options?
Sir John?
Well, I suppose there's nothing new about corruption.
It's a personal thing, isn't it? When you're in a position of public trust. If you're a policeman taking a bribe, a half-priced hamburger, if you're a lawyer or a politician, where do you draw the line? How much shit do you cop? I wonder why I ever got into politics. Why the hell didn't you stop me?
Wild horses wouldn't have stopped you.
Karen!
Karen, come here!
Get back to your mother!
Karen! Come here!
Karen, get back to your mother!
Karen! Come here! Come here! Get over here! It's all right. It's all right.
God.
Okay. Into the car.
Isn't Daddy coming?
Daddy's busy.
Then it's my turn in the front seat.
Go on, hop in. And do your seatbelts up.
Meredith, come on, stop. Now, will you listen to me? I know how you feel. I would honestly be safer if you
You
stayed.
let me know when I can come home.
Meredith, come on, listen to me. I know how you care about the children. Will you stop and
Dare
consider...
you talk to me about care? How bloody dare you? You're endangering your children's lives to feed your monumental political ego. You don't care.
I care.
You care about yourself, your career.
I care about my family.
What is it you're trying to prove, Glenn? Is it something you're trying to prove to the rest of the world, or is it just yourself?
I have a public responsibility.
Don't tell me what you've got. I live with you, I know. You're so riddled with doubt, you've got to take on everyone else's problems just to show them how bloody worthy you are. Well, I won't let you anymore. Not if you want this family. It's your choice.
I must insist you don't upset him, Minister. I shouldn't allow you in.
Sorry, I'm not going to upset him.
He's only just come out of a coma.
Glenn. Yes, please. Sit down. Tell me all the gossip.
I need your help, Barry.
So we've got the right man.
I want you to talk to Roach. Just had my dog shot.
What?
Roach killed my dog. Now listen, that could have been one of my kids. I want you to tell him I don't care what harm I do to the government or to the legal system if he comes near my family again.
No.
I will plant underage drinkers in his clubs and hotels. I will use his taxation records illegally.
No, Glenn. He doesn't need to. It is not Roach.
Bullshit.
No, this is a country boy's opinion. From what Roach told me about him, it has to be Sir John Ritchie. He wants that casino. Glenn, one day, you could lead this party.
Party of shonks.
No. No, a lot of good people like yourself. You see, Glenn, you ever know what it's like to have real power? To have people know your name, to always have your picture in the papers. You get the best seats. You dine with kings, queens, and movie stars. They know you, Glenn. All you have to do is play the game.
Listen, it's absolutely vital the Premier contact me. I'm going to be here for another half hour. I don't care how late he gets back. Tell him to call me at home.
Jan, it's me. No, won't be able to. On a permanent basis, I'm afraid. Listen, the fact is, I'm being put under pressure by outside people that don't like the way I interpret the law. If they were to learn of our little understanding. No, listen, Jan, I care too much about you. You've got a very bright future. Listen, it's been, yeah. All right, see you, Jan. Goodbye.
for a cook for Mr. Roach?
Oh, yes, he's expecting you.
Hi.
And Bobby, darling? Well, you won't have to wait for your Christmas bonus.
Great. When can I fly home?
I'd like you to stay in town for a week or two. I've got one more job for you. I'm having lunch with Sir John Ritchie Friday. He's more than interested. This will solve a lot of his problems.
You haven't shown him the photographs, then?
Certainly not. What sort of businessman do you think I am? I'm going to sell him on a revised proposition for the new casino. Floor prices, percentages on laundered money.
May I?
Alice through the looking glass. Alice and the White Rabbit. Don't worry about it. Ferris isn't going to make those public property, not with your police record. He'll either fold up or he'll learn to play the game.
1 or 2 more weeks, then. That's all?
Well, that depends on when Barry Barnes croaks. Well, get me a champagne.
Oh, Glenn, good.
Close the door after you, McKernan, and no calls.
Just a bloody minute.
Get the hell out of here.
I had hoped we could work together.
Drop the bullshit. Sir John Ritchie had my dog killed. Oh, didn't you get my messages?
Well, I've been out of town. You must be bloody mad.
Yeah, I'm mad enough to demand a judicial inquiry into his license application and his merchant bank.
You'll sink the lot of us. You'll blow the election. Look, I accept that somebody shot your dog, but it wouldn't be Sir John Ritchie, for Christ's sake.
Barry Barnes told me.
Go on, call him. Barry's dead.
I'll call your mate Sir John.
I can't accept this.
Don't play the virgin with me, Cooper.
I know nothing about it.
You know Ritchie. You know about his merchant bank and you know about his South American arms deals.
Sit down, Glenn.
Will you call the bastard?
Sit down. Thank you.
This government is stuffed.
For Christ's sake, listen to me, Glenn. With Barry dead, the press can expose his links with Roach. The government's on a greasy pole. If we lose this bloody by-election, we're stuffed.
I don't want to know about that. I'm only concerned about my family.
I want you for my deputy leader.
Bullshit. You want Carpenter.
Ralph's the right man at the wrong time. Ralph's Minister for Police. With Barry dead, he'll get the shit kicked out of him on the floor of the House. We're in the politics business, Glenn. Our job is to stay in power.
But depending on men like Sir John Ritchie, the man's a criminal.
Now, you're a lawyer. Where's the hard evidence? It's all bullshit raked up by our political enemies. You don't have to buy it. There are questions you don't have to ask, Glenn. You can't be held accountable for things you know nothing about.
I'm not about to sell out.
No one's asking you to. Oh, I'll be here for maybe one more term. You're a young man. You could be state premier. You could sit at this desk, and you can write any political hobby horse you like. Equal rights, abos, organised crime.
I can't if I've been compromised.
How have you been compromised?
You only have to be compromised once to be compromised forever.
Who is trying to compromise you?
You're asking me to grant a casino license to a man who has terrorized my family.
You don't know that.
His private secretary lied to the task force. Public knowledge.
Public speculation. The man's dispensable anyway. You can ride that one out.
We're talking about organized crime.
Vicious rumors. Where's the proof? How can anyone put the screws on you if there's no proof? It's a political decision, Glenn.
You could remind me otherwise.
How? What am I going to say to you? There were unfounded rumors and you chose to ignore them? How does that put your balls in my pocket?
Can you guarantee me the deputy leadership?
I can get you there.
What do you want in return?
Your reputation. You smell good politically. I need a big announcement for the by-election. That's you. I need a bigger announcement for the general election. Point Edmund with its 3 marginal seats. And that's Sir John Ritchie.
Glenn, the press conference starts in 20 minutes. Two of the papers would like 10 minutes with you afterwards. They want to do feature articles on the new Deputy Premier. I've arranged photographic sessions with you and Meredith and the children.
Kate Hardman's on one.
Yeah, I'm unavailable on rocks. That's the story whenever she calls from now on.
Vehicles parking thereon are not subject to the control provided by Part 9 of the Motor Code. Clause 5...
I take great pleasure in formally announcing the granting of this state's second casino license to the Sir John Ritchie Group. You see behind me a scale model of the successful tender. I think you'll agree that a building of this style and great character will serve as a beacon to further development as this government takes this state right into the future. Congratulations, Sir John.
I've arranged to have Mick Miles transferred to the country.
With a promotion?
Oh, yes, naturally.
Some of us move up, Philip. Most of us turn into mushrooms. Kept in the dark, fed bullshit.
Thinking about that place that we saw.
John.
Hello there, John.
Lady Ritchie.
Hello, Lady Ritchie. How are you? Think we can take heart from the opinion polls this morning?
Who's that, Glenn?
Could be anybody.